Today, we're going to break down a book that honestly has completely changed how millions of people see money. We're talking about Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's a book that shows you two very different blueprints for how to build wealth. So let's dive in and explore the simple but really powerful ideas behind that architecture.
Okay, let me just start by asking you a question. Imagine you had two dads, and they gave you totally opposite advice about pretty much everything, especially money. Who would you listen to? Well, this wasn't a hypothetical for the author, Robert Kiyosaki. This was his actual life.
So on one hand, you've got the advice most of us hear our whole lives. Study well, get a good job, and live a secure life. You know, it's the safe path. But then there's this other philosophy, a totally different way of thinking. Build a system so money works for you. See the difference? The goal isn't just to work for your money. It's to have your money work for you. And here's where it gets really wild. For Kiyosaki, these weren't just ideas. These were his two fathers. His biological father, who he calls his poor dad, was brilliant. Highly educated, stable government job, but he was always struggling with money. And then there was his best friend's dad, his rich dad. This guy never even finished the 8th grade, but he got how money works, and he used that knowledge to become incredibly wealthy.
This massive contrast between the two men set Kiyosaki on this incredible journey of learning, all defined by these two fathers and their two totally different paths.
So the lesson started really early on. Rich Dad actually gave young Robert a job for just 10 cents an hour, and Robert was furious. I mean, can you blame him? He felt like he was being totally taken advantage of, and he was just about ready to quit. What he didn't know was that he was right in the middle of his very first lesson about money.
You see, that whole frustrating experience, it was all by design. It was meant to teach him about this powerful trap that most people fall into. Rich Dad called it the trap of the money race, or as we all know it, the rat race.
And Rich Dad explained that this whole trap is powered by one single, incredibly powerful emotion: fear. This quote just says it all. Most people work for money their whole lives because they are afraid of what will happen if they don't have it. That fear, that's the engine that keeps the whole thing going.
And here you can see that cycle in action. Let's just walk through it real quick. Number 1, you get a job, you earn a salary. Great. Number 2, that money immediately goes right back out to pay for your mortgage, your car, all your bills. Number 3, this creates this constant background anxiety, right? This fear of not having enough. So what do? Well, that brings us to number 4. You work harder, chase a promotion, get a bigger salary. But then your lifestyle gets more expensive, your bills go up, and you're right back where you started, just spinning on that hamster wheel.
Okay, so if that's the trap, how in the world do you escape it? Well, that brings us to the real secret to becoming rich. And according to Rich Dad, it all starts with understanding two incredibly simple words.
The first word is asset, and Rich Dad's definition was so simple, it was brilliant. An asset is anything that puts money into your pocket, period. That's it.
And the second word, the complete opposite, is just as clear. A liability is anything that takes money out of your pocket. Seriously, understanding this one difference, it is the foundation for everything else.
Now let's look at some real-world examples here. On the left, in the assets column, this is what the rich focus on. Things like starting a business, investing in stocks, buying property that generates rent. Why? Because all of these things put cash into their pocket. But so many of us spend our money on the stuff on the right, the liabilities. The expensive car, the fancy clothes, racking up credit card debt. All those things do is pull money away from you. So you have to ask, if the concept is this simple, why doesn't everybody just do it? Well, that leads to Rich Dad's next huge point: what they just don't teach you in school.
Rich Dad believed that our whole education system has this massive blind spot. I mean, it teaches us how to be a good employee, how to get a job, but it completely fails to teach us about the one subject we all have to deal with every single day of our lives: money.
So what does that mean? It means financial education is on you. It's a skill you have to go out and learn on your own: how money actually works, how to invest it, and how to build systems that create long-term wealth. Honestly, it's probably the most important subject you'll ever decide to study.
And once you have that education, you can use this incredibly powerful strategy, Rich Dad's Golden Rule. It's just 2 steps. Step 1, focus everything on building your asset column first. Pour your energy and your extra cash into things that will generate more cash. Step 2,
Then, and only then, do you use the income from those assets to buy the nice things, the luxuries. You'll let your system pay for your lifestyle, not your 9-to-5 job.
So, as we start to bring all these ideas together, you can really see that this isn't about having a high-paying job or a bunch of fancy degrees. It all boils down to the real difference in how you think.
And this right here, this is the absolute heart of the entire book. Poor people in the middle class work for money. Rich people have their money work for them. It's not about how hard you work, it's about what your work is building. It is a complete 180-degree shift in mindset.
And this really is the ultimate lesson. The real gap between the wealthy and everyone else, it's not the size of their paycheck, it's their financial blueprint. It's the difference between spending your life working harder and harder for cash versus spending your life building a system that brings cash to you.
And so, this whole breakdown really leaves you with one simple but really important question to ask yourself. It's not about how hard you're working, it's about what are you building? How are you building your system? Thanks for watching.